Smuckers.
Right, so good morning. Welcome to the latest episode of the Diary Piece. This time we joined myself and Steve Hall down on Horseshoe Lake near Lechlade. It's the first time we both fished the lake, isn't it? It's going to be a bit of a learning curve for us both. We actually arrived, well, Steve arrived yesterday morning, 9 o'clock. I was a little bit later getting down, I was in meetings all morning, so I arrived about 3 o'clock, but the weather all day yesterday was absolutely
it just bucketed down, didn't it, mate? Absolutely bucketed down.
Steve was like an absolute dram rat by the time I got here yesterday, but so obviously with Steve getting down early, Steve's done a good lap of the lake, spoke to a few people, spoke to the fellas in the shop, and most of the fish by the sounds have been holding up in Winter Bay, haven't they? So,
yeah, literally. Literally saw a couple of flat spots when he arrived. I'm not sure, a bit later after that they started nutting out. Yeah, in the sort of the centre body of Winter Bay.
Yeah.
And like you said, the guy in Winter Point who was leaving that morning, so
yeah, I think he had 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think he ended up with 4. I think it might have been 4 fish in the end, so a really good session for him, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just felt lucky again, really, and managed to get into this swim. So
yes, this is the first time we've actually been able to get the camera gear out, because it really was bad yesterday. We were both absolutely saturated by the time we actually got set up yesterday, so hopefully we'll be able to get amongst them. Like I say, it's the first time either of us have fished the place, so it'll be a little bit of a learning curve, but hopefully manage to crack the code and manage to winkle one out between us. So we've got a few days anyway, so obviously we'll keep you posted throughout the whole session, show you what we're doing, where we're fishing and all that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll just keep you posted and hopefully manage to put one on the bank.
Yeah. Right guys, what a banging start to day 2. We arrived here yesterday and it was absolutely horrific conditions, so we didn't get any filming done like we said before. We had a few fish showing on us, and this one nutted out bang on the top of my left hand rod. 10 minutes later it was away. It's rolled in at 28 pounds and it's an absolute stunning horseshoe mirror carp, so I'm really blown away with it. Let's flip her over and show you the side. Right, and here's the other side. Absolute bruiser. It was taken over a balanced wafter bait on the old noodle rig and tipped with a bit of yellow corn. So yeah, it's well worth the trip down here, and hopefully we've got a few more days. Let's see if we can get some more on the bank.
Right, so it's been a bit of an eventful night and morning. We'll fill you in with all the details later, but Steve actually suffered a cut off last night. I lost the fish this morning after it kited round the point to my left, and I'd literally recast this rod, probably been back in the water about half an hour, and this one's rattled off. This one's gone 28 on the nose as well, which you couldn't write it because we've actually had a bet between ourselves for 20 quid for the biggest fish, so at the moment myself and Steve are perfectly tied. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous creature. It's almost a leather. It's got tiny little fins, just a few little scales, but it's got all the characteristics of a leather. But yeah, absolutely over the moon with this one. The fish seem to have stayed in our area and got a little bit closer to us. And there's still a few showing at the moment, so fingers crossed we might be able to put some more on the bank. But yeah, absolutely over the moon to put a horseshoe carp on the bank. So we'll get him slipped back and we'll tell you everything that's gone on last night. this is turning into quite an eventful session. So not long after you saw me slip that last fish back, I put about another 2.5 kilo of the bait out. We'll run through exactly what we're doing later, but just mainly chops, Pacific tuna, bit of corn, bit of bloodworm. And literally probably rested the swim for about half an hour, got the rods back out, and this one was off straight away. Probably hadn't been in the water even half an hour. They're certainly on the bait and they're still showing out there as well. So yeah, this one's gone, was it 23.12?
22.12, yeah.
22.12. So yeah, another sort of almost leathery looking one as well, or withered fins, little small tail. But yeah, awesome session. Right, well this session just keeps getting better and better and better. So just after slipping that fish back before, I put another 2.5 kilo on the spot straight away and put the rods back out, and this one's gone off probably within an hour again of putting all that bait out, so they're clearly on it. This one's gone £30.12. It's with our first Horseshoe 30. Absolutely stunning fish to do it with. So it's absolutely gorgeous fish and they're getting bigger. They've clearly stayed in the area and that bait just seems to be holding there. Every time I put bait in, I'm getting bites, so I'm going to have to hope I've still got enough bait left to get me through the session. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I'll flip them around quickly, show you to the side, and then we need to get our rod sorted for the night. Right, so there's the other side. Absolutely gorgeous fish. I knew this was a good fish from the second I lifted into it. I'm basically fishing in between two big weed beds, and what I've been doing, as soon as I'm lifting into the fish, I'm just walking right to the very back of the swim just to clear them over that second weed bed. And this one just did not want to give up at all. It was pulling back, weeding me up a couple of times, had me all over the swim, but finally put him in the net, so absolutely over the moon. So we'll get him back and see if we can have another one.
Right guys, we're into night 3, and what a session it's been so far. Literally me and Steve have just been crazily busy on the bank. It's been unreal, it's like a bomb site. Nights have been pretty quiet after 12 o'clock, but tonight this one's got off at 1:30. It's coming at 21.8, so it's a lovely little mirror, and obviously we've got tomorrow to look forward to, so I'll flip him around and show you the side. Yeah, he's the other side of the bruise I had tonight. Yeah, really stoked with how the two spots are rocking right now. Literally we've been piling the bait in, and yeah, the fish are just on it now, so I'll get this one back, get the rod back on the money, and spot some more bait out and see what the morning brings. Right guys, well what a mental session this has turned out to be. After we turned that one last night back into its depths, we've finally got some sleep, and then we were woken up by Steve's rod, which he was playing for a while and then got him weeded up solid, so it was a waiting game for that one. And as we were waiting for that one, this one rips off on my right hander. We managed to get this one in. It did take out my other rod, but we weren't that bothered about that. This one's coming at £18.14, just under 19, but absolute stunning mirror. So let's slip this one back and we'll show you what Steve's got to show you.
Right, well this is just getting a little bit silly now. It's just turned into one hell of a session. So after that fish that you saw Steve slip back last night, just before first light, my right hand has gone off. Just couldn't do anything with it. The second I've lifted the rod, it's just flat rodded me, powered straight into the weed and just locked up solid. And it's literally just been a game of cat and mouse, just putting the rod back on the rest, managed to gain a couple of inches every time. and then just eventually trying to free it. But in the meantime, Steve's right hand has gone off. He's had that lovely scaly one that you've just seen him with then. So we managed to get that one in the net. Just as we netted that one, managed to free this one. And yeah, it's just unbelievable. This one's gone 27-10. And it's just been carnage. Steve's fish wiped out his other rod. We whipped my other rod in, so we didn't have any trouble with that. So we've got no rods in the water, no bait out there. So we need to get our heads together, get some more bait out, get the rods back out, and hopefully have a couple more. But even if we don't, it's been an absolutely unbelievable session. So we're over the moon anyway, but we'll slip this one back and see what happens. Madness.
Madness.
Well, this really has just gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. I slipped that fish back, wrapped the rods back up, 2 fresh rigs on the spot. I was setting the bobbin on the second rod to go out, and it ripped off in my hand. Literally just haven't had a chance to get any more bait out or anything, just clearly on the spot, absolutely ripping it to pieces. And to be honest, I could do with a break. I'm absolutely knackered at the moment. I haven't had any breakfast, need a strong coffee, and just see what the rest of the day brings. So we really need to start doing some more bits of filming. So at the minute, I think this tardy piece is just going to be us lifting fish, which on the one hand is brilliant, but we need to get some little infill bits in as well. But yeah, awesome. Right, so we just had a little break in the madness, so we thought we'd just take this opportunity to sort of run you through where we're fishing, talk about the spots and stuff, because it's just been
Must be carnage,
insane, hasn't it? Like, I don't know whether the film will do it justice, because all we seem to be doing is lifting fish up for camera. It's just been an incredible session. We've been working so hard for it, haven't we? It's just, they're loving the bait, and it just seems to be the more bait you put in, the more bites you get. Most of the bites I've had have come within 20 minutes of getting the rod back out after putting a decent hit of bait out, so they're clearly on it, and it's literally just been keeping the bait going in and just keeping them in the area.
Just keeping in the area, really, yeah. Like you said, it's been happening, what you've been doing, getting them spots on the spot, and yeah, you've even rested, haven't you? And it just keeps going off. So
I was so it really has been hard work. Obviously, it's brilliant, but it has been hard work. It's literally just get the fish in, get the shots, get the footage, get the rod back out, get some bait back out, and then the rod's been going again. So it literally has just been non-stop the whole time so far. So I'll talk you through a little bit about the spot where I'm fishing. So I'm at 19.5 wraps, and the spot, it's only quite a small spot that I'm on, isn't it? It's probably, well, when I say small, it's probably about a rod length or so wide. But when you hear people talk about spots within spots, that seems to be the case on this session. Although the spot is clear for sort of a rod length, there's one probably sort of 3-foot spot where, unless my rig is on that spot, it's just not getting touched, because every fish I've had so far has been on my right hand rod, which has gone down with an absolute crack. The left hand is only a few feet away from it, but it's still getting a firm drop on it, but slightly softer, and that rod hasn't been touched. So last night I decided to reposition my left hand there really close to me right. I mean, when you look at my lines, it literally looks like the crossing, and I've had a fish on my left hand rod now. So although my bait is on a slightly wider area and the spot is quite clear on a wider area, it just seems to be that one tiny little, maybe 3 or 4 foot spot that I'm getting takes off. The spot itself, if you go any further than where I'm fishing, it's just solid weed, which you found already. We've said it. We've had a couple that have weeded us up, but and then when you come back off the spot, you've got another huge bank of weed. So what I've been doing, as soon as I've lifted into the fish and fishing locked up, just lifting the rod and walking right to the very back of the swim, just dropping the lead as well, so the fish is on the surface straight away over that bank of weed. And then luckily I haven't had too much trouble with them. I had one that's weeded me up pretty well.
That was pretty solid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
a bit of a waiting game on that one,
yeah,
wasn't it, really?
Did probably weeded me up for a good hour, that one. It's just a case of rod back on the rest, wait for it to just tick off a tiny little bit of line, and you make contact with it again, get a little bit of line back, and it's just a game of cat and mouse. But luckily we won that battle, and while we were trying to free that one, you had on as well, didn't you?
Yeah, the right hand, that went off on the spot. That it's in the middle of the bowl, really. It's quite a large area because there's quite a few swims on the opposite bank. I think can reach the back of the spot as well, to be fair. But yeah, I've kept it this side. Again, it's probably about, I'd say, probably 2 rod lengths off another massive weed bed between us and the fish. The fish seem to be at that area more so in the night. I think they tend to pull off in this bowl area, and they seem to be getting the runs more at night. And obviously Steve's then picking them off more in the daytime kind of thing.
Yes.
But it's been productive. But yeah, unfortunately, you get some, I've lost some. But that fish that came in, it was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say they've all been absolutely gorgeous fish.
Yeah.
I haven't had one fish below £20 so far, so you can't
Can't
complain
grumble
with
that. Especially, we don't know the lake. We've never been.
No.
And this place isn't a runs water by any stamps. What acre is it? It's Horseshoe, 60?
62 acres.
So we've found the fish. We've kept active, and the methods are working. And we've done well, but we've not really slept much. That's the only problem. We've not really slept much. It's just bait.
I think we probably look like we've been on a 3-week bender already. We're not even at the end of the session yet, but it's just been we've been working hard, and I say it's been work, and I say spotting at night after fish. You just need to do it just to keep them in the area.
And the crackers, aren't they? All of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got some of the original.
Yeah, I had a couple of originals.
They were the start, weren't they? Then?
Yeah. So yeah, it's been great.
And the stuff fantastic.
So we talk here. So I don't usually do an awful lot of sort of rig sections in these video diaries, but Steve said they had to do it on this session because you'll all be amazed that I'm not using a stiff hinge.
Yeah.
So
that's it. I nearly fainted.
So I mean, when we arrived, obviously we spoke to the lads in the shop, and they sort of said the pop-ups hadn't been working at all. They said they do work, but they seem to switch on and off, and they just haven't been working at all. So obviously, if you've seen any of these diary pieces before, you'll know I'm more of a boilie angler, really, and I don't tend to mess around with my rigs an awful lot. I fish stiff hinges over spreads of boilies, and that suits my angling. But I'm not adverse to changing. And to be fair, when we arrived Monday, the weather was that bad. My plan was to just put 2 singles out on stiff hinges and just put a few spoms of boilies over the top and just see what happens for that night. I thought if I don't have anything on my stiff hinges, then straight away the following morning I'm going to switch to bottom baits, put some spod mix out and fish over that, and it worked pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately I lost that one. We've had Dave's been down with us as well. He was in the swim next to us. We're on Winter Point, which obviously the name suggests. We've got a point which comes out to our left. I was just playing the fish. It was out in open water, probably 50-60 yards out, and within 30 seconds it had just kited straight into the margin, round the point. My line was cutting through the trees. It's picked Dave's rod up and eventually just spat the hook, but that proved to me that's the method, get some bait out and fish bottom bait. So I don't tend to fish bottom bait an awful lot unless I'm in a solid bag, really. So I don't really have a sort of go-to bottom bait rig. So one rig that has sort of caught my attention recently, and most people's attention, is the Ronnie. The reason it sort of draws me to it is mechanically it's very similar to my stiff hinges that I love, but it can be fished as a bottom bait as well. It's a lot neater. So that's how I've been fishing it. I've been fishing it with a little wafter, just chopped down, and just topping it with a piece of plastic corn, and that's been doing the damage. The hook holds have been unreal.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely
never coming off.
No. So yeah, I think this will be my go-to bottom bait rig now. But I think
been converted, haven't you, mate?
That's it. I mean, it's one of them. I like to catch fish on my own terms, but I'm never going to ignore the advice of the bailiffs or anything like that. You've got to be open to change if what you're used to fishing doesn't work on certain lakes, because it won't work on.
No, it doesn't.
On every lake.
But on that, you've got to be confident as well.
That's
You're
it.
confident. If you're not confident on a rig and you've not really caught on a rig before, then you don't go to a new water and change everything.
No.
But
No, I'm certainly confident with it
would,
now.
Yeah, mega.
So you're on the
noodle, I'm on the noodle basically. Yeah, I do tinker a little bit.
Yeah, you
I do. I like to tinker. But yeah, I've started probably using this probably in the last 3 months of my fishing, and the first session was just unreal. The hook calls I was getting, the amount of fish I was getting on the bank, it just changed, and I thought, wow, because obviously I like the combi link system that I use with a solid boom, and that gives me a great presentation with the pop-ups. And that's mainly what I like to do with pop-ups over a big spread of boilie. But yeah, sometimes obviously when I want to fish nuts more, so like a balanced tiger nut, it doesn't really give me the right presentation that I wanted. Where this rig, I found out it does. Obviously this session I'm using the 60 more hardened hook baits, and what I've done there, obviously this is the one I had the fish on, but I've drilled out and just balanced it with a bit of cork and tipped it with a bit of yellow corn, which I've actually applied in the mix that I'm putting out. And yeah, it seems to be doing the do for me on my bottom bait and wafter sort of setup, so I'm really confident in it.
Yeah, that 28 you had was absolutely nailed, wasn't it? It was,
absolutely. It like hoovered it back.
Yeah.
It went that far back. Yeah, and sometimes you can put a bit of putty just off the bend, and that helps with the hook. But I've not really, wherever you go, it just turns, and sometimes fish can learn. I always have it's a bit longer. Sometimes I shorten it, but they learn basically, and it just gives them a bit more room. But obviously, sometimes fish are a bit clever, and they hoover up from different heights. So yeah, that one's what I'm using on this session. So
just like when you compare the two together, I'm actually fishing quite a shorter rig, really. I mean, in my head, I've been fishing over smaller bits of bait. I prefer a shorter rig, but both rigs have worked. Every fish we've had, they've all been nailed. Yeah. So I think
and the mix is about the same. Well, yeah, it's kind of, we're using chops, aren't we? We're using sweet corn. I've got the casters in mine, frozen water snail.
That's a little edge, isn't it?
A little edge.
Both love.
And then glugged with the booster system, and pretty much just to emphasise that bait. But you've been doing it with Pacific tuna, so
yeah,
both baits have been doing it. Obviously, the tuna's just rocked. So
yeah, old faithful Pacific tuna.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that sort of brings us up to date so far. So just see what happens with the rest of the session, but it's been mental so far, but hopefully we'll be able to put some more on the bank for you anyway. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a good insight to what we've been doing, and we'll catch up with you later on in the session. Right, so this is fish number 6. A lovely common this time, absolutely immaculate. Lovely golden colour. This one's gone 22.8. So I really can't believe the session we're having. Still haven't been able to get any bait out, still haven't had any breakfast, still haven't had a coffee. Absolutely knackered. So it is literally just non-stop. We have not stopped working at all this session, but it's certainly paying off. So yeah, I know I keep saying it, but I'll get this one back and see what happens next. But unreal. Right, well, I just don't know what to say anymore. Fish number 7, 25.8. I literally had the one rod left in the water. I was actually spomming over the top of it when my only rod in the water went off. So, came in a bit like a sack of spuds this one, and weeded me up for a little bit. Just came with a massive bundle of weed on him, which Steve managed to bundle up in the net. So, yeah, once again, I'm absolutely knackered. Need to get some food in me. Right, well, this is fish number 8, an absolutely gorgeous sipling here. £20 on the nose. I've just got the rods back out. I left them out for about 3 or 4 hours because it was absolutely knackered. Gave them another hit of about 2.5–3 kilo of the bait. Rest of the swim for a little bit. Like I said, the rods have been back out about an hour. so they're still in the area. So hopefully they'll keep on coming. Absolutely gorgeous fish, this. Absolutely made up with it. What Horseshoe's famous for, lovely scaly ones. So we'll get this one back and see what else the night brings. Right, so we're now into double figures. This is fish number 10. Just gone 6:30 in the morning. Shame it's not daylight, to be fair. It's another lovely looking fish. Well, the spot's just rocking. As I say, after I slipped that fish back before, probably only put about 6 bombs out, to be fair, because I just wanted to get my head back down. As I say, I'm absolutely shattered. Unfortunately, not long after that one, Steve actually lost one. Managed to pick his other line up and just dumped the hook in the weed. So it's been a pretty eventful night with no sleep again. So I'm going to get this one back, try and get my head down for a little bit before it goes to light, and I think I'm going to recast both rods because they're both going to have to go back in the dark if I put them out now. So yeah, get this one slipped back, try and get some sleep, and then see if we can nick another before we have to leave. Bedtime now. Right, so we're just coming to the end of an absolutely crazy session.
Yeah,
it's been
nuts, absolutely nuts. But we wouldn't change it for the world, would we?
No, we're both absolutely broken. But like I said, we wouldn't change it. It's been such hard work, but rewarding. I say it's literally just been have a fish, get your shot, get your footage, get the fish back in, get the rod back out, and bait up. And you know, we've been giving them a decent amount of bait. I mean, it seems to be. I mean, I've been putting it in sort of 2.5 kilo at a time.
Yeah.
And I've been having bites within an hour.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
In the daytime, definitely.
Yeah.
It's been just you've been spodding. And one, literally, we were spodding, and then it went off as you were spodding.
I couldn't believe that. I'd had my rods out for a couple of hours just while it was just carnage. I was just sorting myself out, getting some new rigs tied, getting the rods wrapped back up. So it got me left-handed out, got me right-handed out. I was just setting the bobbin and it ripped off in my hand.
It's just absolutely nuts. At one point, I couldn't even get my rods back in the water because you kept on catching fish all the time. So it's like, it's madness, isn't it?
That's why it's been so tiring though, because we're fishing 2 different spots, and mine seems to be coming alive during the day, and then yours has been coming alive at night, from sort of 11:30 until 2ish, half 2. So it's just been non-stop.
And then obviously we're spodding straight after that into the dark, and then when time you're getting back into your bag, you're clocking on to like 4 or 5, then yours start. So it's just you're getting an hours in between really.
So you've had no sleep at all.
No sleep.
Night, did we? You kicked the night off. You had a sort of strange occurrence on your left hand at about 11:30.
Yeah, it's either a coup picked me up, or obviously maybe a fish had got away with it, but hit it anyway because sometimes I always want a single beat, so hit it anyway, but nothing there. The hook point had been bent over slightly, but that could have been just for the gravel on the spot that we're fishing. Quickly got that back out, went down a really nice donk again. So I was happy it was fishing, even obviously you cast into the dark, so you're not realistic 100%, but you have got your night markers. And what was it, probably about an hour or so, wasn't it? It had been in the water, and it ripped off again. Got into the fish, got me into that weed, kept on playing it, but obviously you're not 100% sure which way the direction the fish is going to go. And unlucky again, it did pick up my other rod that was in. I think it's just because of the line lay going to the spot. I don't know exactly the depth of the weed under the surface where I'm fishing, but it doesn't take much for that fish to get that line. And unfortunately, it was
game over.
It was game over. It was picking that, and we lost it. So
that's the thing. It just picked up your other line and just dragged it into that weed bed, and that was just stalemate then, wasn't it? But
we tried taking the bail arm off as you would do, just to give that if there is any bit of play, but it was just it wasn't. And obviously it's barbless hooks on here, so any little bit of that line goes down, it can dislodge that hook. So it's one of them, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, you sort of got to expect it really on weedy lakes, and between both of our spots there is huge weed beds in between us and the spot. So just one of those. With obviously dropping the lead, I've been lucky. I've been fishing locked up, dropping the lead. So as soon as the fish takes, I'm just lifting into it, walking right to the back of the swim, and just managing to get it up on the surface and lift it over that weed, and it's worked. I think you've just been unfortunate. Maybe your weed comes up a bit close to the surface. I don't know, but it's just one of those things.
Yeah,
it's just unavoidable.
Yeah, it's just one of them. Yeah,
Sometimes,
because obviously we're not fishing the rods amazingly too far apart. I know we have kept it quite tight. Yeah, you know, just so we're not spreading the bait around and keep it as tight as we can with the spods and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, you know, you can't get them all. But at the end of the day, if we'd come and someone said, right, you know, you're going to have so many 20s, so many 28s, you could have a 30, you could have little middies, you know, and scaly ones and zip lins. You were like, yeah, whatever, mate.
Yeah,
it's been awesome, hasn't it?
So
and that zip was mate. I mean, with the colours.
I think I've had 10 fish now. All of them have been over 20. Well, the smallest one was bang on 20, which was that zipline. And that was just, I think that's pick of the bunch for me. Probably one of the nicest fish I've ever caught. It's just unreal. Stunning. So yeah, it's just been. So I've had 10, lost one. I've had
3, lost 3. One was a cut off. Again, I don't know. It might have got under a rock or whatever it was, and it, you know, some of the baits that it might have been like there's mussels and stuff out there. And so possibly it could have. It just came up all pigtails and stuff. So there was literally zero we could do about that one.
Just
and obviously the other 2 were just lost in the weed. But you know the ones we got in were crackers, and I'm really happy.
So the stamper fish has just been unreal.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And for the acreage of the lake, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just been location. So you were down before me on the Monday. Obviously, Steve spoke to a few people, had a look around, and you've seen fish in this swim straight away, haven't you? And we were just lucky the fella who was in here was leaving a few hours later, so we just touched lucky. The swim became available, and the fish were here, and they stayed here. So, but yeah, we're both absolutely broken after last night. I think
we've got no bait now anyway.
No, ran out of bait. It's literally just been one of those sessions.
Got no fingers.
Yeah,
they're all cut to ribbons.
But yeah, so it's just been crazy. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It's certainly the most action-packed one we've ever put together. Big thank you to Miles and everyone at Horseshoe for letting us come down. Hospitality, it's been
top notch.
We'll definitely be back. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the diary piece. We've still got a couple of hours left, and you never know, we might just be able to nick another one, but couldn't care less now.
Not now, no.
Right, well this just caps off an absolutely insane session. I've actually still got a fish stuck in the weed. I had a run, we just weeded me up. We put that back on the rest. Steve's rod ripped off. The second we got that in the net, my other rod ripped off. So this just literally sums up the entire session. Steve's a little bit bigger than mine.
25.12.
25.12. This one's 20 pound 12.
Yeah, 20 pound 12.
£20 12. Both absolutely stunning fish again.
Stunners, man.
So, right, we're going to get ourselves packed up now, and if we might have free the one that's in the weed at the moment, we'll show you that one as well, but it doesn't really matter now, does it? See ya.